All right, hey everyone, I welcome you to the New York Comic Con Joe Ciano and Matt Summo panel, first annual, hopefully. I'm Joe.
I'm Matt.
And we're here to talk to you about the creative projects we've got coming up. I'm going to lead off. So anyone who's been to my table at Comic Con or seen any of the local shows knows that Tales of Happenstance is one of my flagship titles. And I'm pleased to announce that work is being done on issue 10 right now. We're getting close to the end of the book for both of those stories, both Another Night and Broadway. If you've been keeping up with us in Another Night, Alex is finally confronting the woman who gave him a hickey, who turned him into a werewolf. That was a good cliffhanger we had. So in this issue, Alex is full wolf. He's going at it with Cassandra's chosen champion. And Jack shows up with his girl he just met at the party, and they kind of get into it. It's going to be cool. I'm very excited. It's more of a cheesy fight than our famous chicken fight from issue 6. So if you've been following with us, it'll be a bit more gaggy, but I think you're all really going to dig it. In Broadway, Aaron and Ashley are getting real, and Aaron's not entirely sure how to deal with it. As a hitman, he's always been more to himself. We've hinted at a lot of his family ties. You're going to see a lot more of that this issue. What we do that's cool this issue is that Broadway is actually 3 short stories in this issue. So you're going to get some time with Ashley, where Ashley has a big modeling gig come through with her, and brings up the notion of a family. And you kind of see Aaron get a little bit tight on that, and he goes to the bartender, who, if you remember us, has been he cameoed, I want to say, in issue 7. And he comes back for this one, and you get a lot more of Aaron's family history, which I'm really kind of excited for, as you kind of come to the close on both of these stories. And Awkward Hospital is going to be back for another short. That's a very popular. Mallory, if you're watching, this one's for you. So you're going to get a lot more Awkward Hospital too in this. It's pretty packed. I'm very, very excited for it. I hope you guys have all been digging it. Sly Krapa does an amazing job on art. If you want to see more of his stuff, feel free to check him out at Sly Stories. There's a pretty boss Dungeons & Dragons YouTube channel called DM It All that I would recommend as well. Matt, if you want to take your first thing going on.
Sure. I have a couple things going on. So the book that I'm working on most consistently is a book called The Bardic Verses. It is about a bard character who is the son of like this legendary warrior by the name of Searoar Swordhand.
I love that name.
Martin Swordhand, decided not to pick up the sword and follow in his father's footsteps, and decided to become a bard and sing about other people's adventures and the adventures that he goes on with these other people. The book is it's twofold. It's a sword and sorcery book, but it's also kind of an anthology. So, we start with him in a tavern somewhere, getting ready to sing a song. Each song is going to be its own individual story. They all kind of have a through line. There is one big arc to the book. But each story, each song will be a different art style. So kind of a different tribute to a comic book creator or a story that we, myself and Pete Collins, who does the art, really happen to enjoy. I don't want to say too much, but so far in what we've kind of teased, there's a tribute to Jack Kirby, which we really like. And then one of the biggest stories in the book is kind of a tribute to Frank Miller, Sin City. There's like a little bit of Dark Knight Returns mixed in there. And the rest, there should be, if I had to guess, 4 or 5 more stories. That'll be all different tributes to different art styles and different comic styles. So it should be pretty interesting. The other book that we're working on, so I'm a part of this kind of collective, this creator collective called Wetworks. The reason why we're called Wetworks is because the 3 of us all work, our day jobs are for a company called Waterworks. So we decided, hey, we all have that in common. Wetworks is kind of like a fun, we're like mercenaries for hire that do like the odd jobs, right? So we came up with this collective name. It's myself, it's Pete Collins, Nicholas Vittorio, and Carlos Nunez. Nick does pencils and graphic design. Carlos does inks. Um, and Pete does kind of everything. Pete does art, colors, like whatever we need him to do. He's kind of an everyman. So the other book that all three of us are working on, I'm sorry, all four of us, is called The Diabolist. Again, these titles are all kind of to be, like, they're not finalized. I think the Bardic Verses is probably finalized. Diabolist might be finalized, might be changed. Anywho, Diabolist is about an escape artist who gets framed for a crime he didn't commit and has to escape from prison to find out who framed him and why. So this was actually a pitch that I had from a while ago that I decided to kind of dust off the shelf and retool a little bit. I brought it to them. They really liked it. And we're kind of going all systems go on that. It's not as, I feel like we have more finished for Bardic Verses, but we're kind of cruising along on Diabolist. I think by the time New York Comic Con of next year rolls through, 2021, we'll probably have Bardic Verses already, finished, book one finished. We're kind of planning, I think I'm planning 2 books for this. So part one will be done. Part one should be about 80 pages or so by New York Comic Con. So we're pretty excited. You can find us all online. Our accounts are Wetwork Studios. Again, it's Wetworks with an X, not a KS. On Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all 9.
That's phenomenal. You showed me some of the artwork for that, and everything about it looks really special. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's cool. Really quick about Pete. Pete, did art for years. Nothing really in comics. We worked together. I did an anthology. I was a part of an anthology called Kayfabe Volume 3, a pro wrestling anthology. And I had asked if they wanted like pin-ups for the book. And I approached Pete and I said, hey, man, they're looking for pin-ups. Like, do you want to do one? And he did it. And once he got the book, that's when he got the bug, which I feel like that's what happens to all of us. Like, once we're holding, you're holding like the physical manifestation of like this, this project that you worked on, this thing that you worked on. And you're like, oh, I need more of this. Like, I need this to like keep happening. So that's once he did that, once that happened, like, I feel like that lit a fire in him. And he was like, oh yeah, we definitely, I want to work on this. He started, bringing me ideas. I started bringing him ideas. Then we teamed up with Carlos and Nick and kind of all just came together just for this love of comics. We want to just put stuff out there that we're having, we're enjoying working on, no pressure. Like, this is kind of, we all have day jobs. Like, this is something that we do on the side. But, we really care about it. And we're really, like, I'm having a great time. I've never had this much fun working on a project than I have with like Bardic Verses, just because it's just so ridiculous. And we're not like tethered by anything. Like, we can just like, I'll be like, hey, what if we did this? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like, well, what if we also did this? And then we just throw stuff at the wall, and it's coming out really good. I'm very proud of it.
No, you 100% should be. Like I said, I've seen some of the arts, and you showed me, I think, some of the Bardic Verses, and everything about that book looks really special. I'm really excited. Speaking of stuff that's coming out soon, almost right now, at least when this recording is going to be released, is going to be Wake Up by myself and Andrew Nimetz. If you are a cat owner, this is the book for you, because it is about your cat waking you up at 7 a.m. to be fed, but your cat actually talks to you. It's cute. I wanted to do something special. New York Comic Con's always been a very special time for me, as both a fan and as a professional. And I know this year isn't really what anybody wanted it to be, but I still wanted to bring my best for the show in whatever form the show is going to be. So over the summer, I kind of came up with this pitch for, Guy and His Talking Cat. It's a short 3-pager. I think it's fun. I think it's cute. You should see some art flashing up on the screen right now of what it's going to be. That's going to be coming out this weekend, depending on when we release this. Either if I'll just, talk. If it releases Friday, it's going to be, Saturday. If it releases Saturday, it's going to be Saturday evening. So I'll just edit that part, and we'll make it sound much better in post. But I'm very excited for that. I hope you guys like it. I hope it contributes to your New York Comic Con experience. The last thing I want to discuss is actually a project I'm doing with an artist that both you and I have worked with, Patrick Sinnott.
Nice.
So if you've been on my website, you've been to my table, you've noticed the all ages book I have, Simone and the Crazy Card Game. Those two, Simone and Joff, are going to be back for a full-length adventure that I'm very excited about. They're working on the art now. It's going to be them continuing their adventuring pursuits. In a lot of ways, they're going to learn about themselves as not just, adventurers, but also heroes as they kind of get challenged by characters who in some ways mirror an aspect that they want to have be a part of them. So they're going to be challenged by their heroics, by their, by their want for fame, and by their want to uphold what is right. And it's going to potentially be a 3-issue book, anticipated 2021 release, where to be determined, but we're going to try and get that book to you some way, somehow.
Nice.
And I'm very excited. I mean, you've worked with Patrick before. His stuff is phenomenal.
Unreal.
So I'm very excited for this. I'm very excited for all the stuff we got coming up. And I hope this has been a very nice mini Comic-Con panel for you guys. Hopefully we'll do this again next year, in person at the Javits Center. Either, in Studio, 1A, the main stage, or in some backlot behind the Javits Center.
In the back of a food truck.
There you go. Out by the empanadas stand at 4 o'clock if you want to find us. Just ramble about comics. All right. Well, I hope everyone. Before I'll do the final wrap up. Matt, do you have any last words you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, find me on Twitter at MattManBegins. That's with 2 T's, MattManBegins. That's anywhere actually. Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, MySpace, Friendster, Petco.com. Yeah, I don't know. Just anywhere online. My username is at MattManBegins, and then look us up, the studio, Wetwork Studios, on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram.
You're so much better promoting yourself than I am. You can find me at Amazing J Ciano. That's for Twitter and the Gram, as well as my website, Amazing J Ciano. And I hope you guys have had fun with this. I think we had, hope you're looking forward to all the books, and projects that are coming up. And I hope you're having a great Comic-Con weekend and making the most of it. Support your local shops, buy stuff from any artists who have, stuff going on in their big cartels or Etsy's. Enjoy the weekend. Try and make it as, special as you possibly can. And thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye.